What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Juices Loose crew 1 year Switch anniversary special podcast. We'll be reminiscing about the first year of the Switch, and just kind of sharing stories and memories from the first year. I know we kind of did a year in a review and stuff, but I figured on the 1 year anniversary we should do something. So we're just gonna. I got a few little ideas for some games, but other than that, we're just gonna kind of have a discussion with just friends talking about video games. So I want to introduce finally. I've been trying to get him on the Juices Loose for a while. I want to say hello to Clocked It. What's up, man? Welcome to the Juices Loose.
Cheers, dude. Yeah, it's good to be here. I've been very excited. So yeah, let's go, man. Let's do this.
All right, yeah. For anyone who doesn't watch Clocked It or isn't subscribed to him, definitely a Nintendo fan. Makes a little more insightful videos than me for sure, and than most people, but really well made videos, great opinions. I've been subscribed to you for probably not too long after the Switch came out, I would say. And yeah, definitely I got a link to his channel in the description of this podcast. So go check it out. His last video was just phenomenal. You did a retrospective on Breath of the Wild. I think it was like 20 minutes of just, amazing. Like you got your capture card finally, and you put it to good use, man. Those are some great shots showing off Hyrule and good stuff. So go check that out. And yeah, so let's get going. Rest of the crew's here, minus Robert. He's working, so he don't play a Switch anyway, so I guess it's okay. Just kidding. Robert played a lot in the first half of the Switch's life, so would have loved to have him here, but he couldn't make it. So let's just get in. And I guess, Clocked, if you want to just say something quick about yourself and your channel, I usually do that when someone's on for the first time. Gaming history and everything. If you want to sum that up and go ahead.
Right, on the spot. Woo. Okay, so yeah, I started my channel just over a year ago, and I don't know why I didn't start it before, because I've been playing games since I dragon punched my way out of my mother's womb. Shoryuken, But nah, I've been playing games for a long time, since the Atari and Commodore days, and since then I pretty much owned every major console. And massive Sega fan back in the day. Obviously, Nintendo as well.
What's up with that?
He got some good taste. Fuck y'all.
Basically, just to sum it up, basically Clocked It and T are like twins with their favorite systems and stuff.
Fanboyish.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. That's why crazy. But but yeah, been playing games for a long time, and up until now, like I said, you mentioned my last video, which was all about Breath of the Wild, and I'm more than happy to say now that's my favorite game ever made. Absolutely love it. So I had to do a video on it as my Switch 1 year anniversary.
And what is your favorite console of all time? It doesn't have to be a Nintendo system.
Oh, it is, man. There's only one console. That's the N64. You know this. You know this.
Like I said, twins with T.
But yeah, no, the N64 was it was a magic era, man. It's too much happened, too much greatness happened. It's gonna take a lot.
Where's the Saturn on your list then?
That's number 2, man.
We are twins. That's my number 2 as well.
So just so everybody knows where you're from, so they're probably hearing the accent. Maybe some people don't know recognize it. So.
Well, I actually thought my accent was quite broad. The last time I went to New York City, I was walking through Central Park, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, American girls?" They're like, "Oh man, what's your accent from? You from Boston?" I'm like, "No, I'm not from Boston. What are you talking about? I'm a Welsh boy."
Boston.
But no, I'm from Wales, which is not England. Let me just point this out right now before you even start. I'm from Wales, in the United Kingdom, been there all my life, and yeah. That's pretty much where I'm from. I'm from Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. It's a beautiful city, small but beautiful.
Isn't that where Christian Bale's from? Am I wrong about that?
He's definitely got Christian Bale, Batman, Dark Knight.
It's like the most useless type of information.
Yeah. I don't know actually. I don't actually know where he's from.
He's
But
got a
we're
quirky
home.
accent.
I think he's
we're
also
home
from
to,
Wales, but that's
Tom Jones is probably our biggest star. Tom Jones.
Yeah.
He's a Cardiff boy. If you like a bit of Tom Jones, you know, he's like, yeah. You know.
Wow.
I was just trying to give a point of reference, you know, maybe you can see some similarities or hear some similarities.
Yeah, it's hard to
in your
hear.
accent.
Christian Bale doesn't talk in his normal accent very often, though. People
and interviews and stuff.
surprises a lot of people when he does. But yeah, so good to have you on, and we've been gaming, whether it was Splatoon, little Mario Kart, ARMS, Rocket League, you know. So we've been chatting for a couple months at least. I mean, since probably I don't know this fall.
I've been following you boys for a long time, you know, and I went through the whole Wii U era with pretty much no Wii U friends online to play games. Poor me. And and then you jump on YouTube, you find a bunch of channels, you know, all lots of good channels, but pretty generic ones. But it's even harder to find people who you can relate with, you know, in the way you view video games yourself. So after I stumbled across you boys, obviously stumbled across a whole group, and since then I was just like, man, this is it. I need to hook up with these fools.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the Wii U era was bleak for that. I was lucky enough to get on YouTube back then, so I definitely if I wouldn't know what I would have done without you guys to play Smash with and stuff, like it would have been pretty depressing. So I'm glad we hooked up and did some gaming, and it sucks with the sometimes the ping is a little high on Rocket League, but good times playing that and Splatoon and everything with you. So yeah, glad to have you on the Clocked It podcast. So well, let's get on to the Switch, because I mean I cannot freaking believe it's been a year. I know everybody's saying it's redundant to, you probably heard 100 people say this. I cannot fathom that it's been a year already, because I can remember the day I got my Switch like it was last week. Like I remember every little detail. So I thought we could start by just, if you have the vivid memories I have, just sharing your story of getting the Switch. And we won't, Clocked It's talked a lot, so let's start with Terrell. I mean, I'm trying to remember if you guys all went to Midnights, but I'm not. I know T might have had his ship, but why don't you recap how you got your Switch, when you got it, and your first memories?
I got mine shipped, I think, like T did. So I didn't get mine until I got home, and that was like the worst day of work. I think it was a Friday, wasn't it? I believe it was a Friday last year, and I was mad, yo. the whole work day. This nigga on Terrell, you seem really jumpy or antsy today. What's going on, man? It's like new game system, man. I can't take it. Got home. That was the fastest drive. I'm pretty sure I threatened a bunch of lives on the way home. I didn't give a damn at that point. And I saw that box. I said, Amazon, you didn't fuck me today. Let's go. And I took that thing. I ran upstairs, and then I recorded an unboxing video and lost my ever-loving mind. Once that unboxing video was done, shoot. All that night, I think I played Bomberman for like 5 hours, and then the rest of the night was Zelda. I said, I'm going to at least humor Bomberman, because if I don't, I'm not going to touch it again, which I was right. I didn't touch it for like a week, I don't believe. That was a beautiful weekend, man. It was just crazy to me.
Good times. All right, Retro, do you remember your initial unboxing and first memories of the Switch, and when did you get yours? I know it was a little bleak in France. There wasn't a whole lot of games and stuff to choose from.
It's not just that. I think I don't remember much of it, because like with the Wii, for example, I had this whole experience, and with the Wii U, I had specific memories. I think with the Switch, I remember the stock being pretty low in the beginning, and that I think that was one of the only ones in that store that got one, because a lot didn't get shipped or something. I don't remember. All I remember is the store was empty as hell. So I just walked calmly into the store, and I walked out of it with a Switch.
Exciting. I know.
Exciting.
That was my Wii U midnight release.
It wasn't like American Black Friday or some shit like that. So
But France has come along now. It's over 1 million sold. But
yeah,
anyway.
it's going really fast. Like by now, the sections are really super full and everything, and
Didn't-
there's always Switches in stores. So
Didn't you have to wait to get a game? Didn't you not have a game right away?
I just remember this literally 2 minutes ago before you asked my turn that I think like the whole Zelda thing and the thing with the clock, I think my problem is I got Zelda a day later because I ordered my special edition in and it came like a day late or something like that. So the first day I just was like creating memes and shit.
Yeah, that's all you could do, really.
And like
All
in
right.
total silence because it's not like had a background music or something, you know.
That's your memories, huh? That's, I mean, they're not all going to be special. So let's go to Clocked It next, because I have no idea how your initial getting your Switch and stuff went. So why don't you share that with us?
Oh, Crom. I remember nothing, but it wasn't a fun time. It was just heart attack after heart attack, because as you all know, when you pre-order something, you just need it to arrive. And I remember tweeting, if this doesn't arrive, you know, I'll probably just go flip mode on the delivery guy once he does arrive. But yeah, you know, my order, I changed my order at the last minute. I had 2 orders on Amazon. No, I had 1 order on Amazon, and that was just for the normal gray Switch console. And the more Nintendo started pimping the blue and red Joy-Con controllers, the more I wanted them. And I was like, man, okay, I'm going to change my order last minute because Amazon said, yeah, we got some more red, blue ones. So I was like, okay, change my last minute. And this was like about 2 days before it was launching. I was like, no, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then next thing you know, when it actually was about to launch, I had an email just saying, yeah, it's been delayed. And oh my God, I honestly, don't you just like get that type of headache and you just feel like you're going to pass out? That's how I felt. And I had the emails coming through. I was going mental on Twitter. And then next thing you know, it actually just turned up. Even though I was getting all these orders, emails telling me that it wasn't going to arrive in time. It was going to arrive the next week. But then it turned up and I was like, praise Crom. Praise Crom. It is here. I got it. And there's something weird about the unboxing. It was such a small box. You remember how small it was? And you just opened it, you just had that tiny ass screen in front of you. It looks small inside the box. And you had the 2 Joy-Cons, and that's all you could see on top. And you're like, holy shit, this is it. And yeah, the whole setup was just magical. And I slapped Zelda in there, and that was it. That was the beginning of the journey.
Did Zelda come with it, or did you have to?
Yeah, I ordered the special edition on a separate website from Amazon at the time, and that arrived before my Switch. So I had Zelda just sitting there. While the whole time I was thinking I'm just gonna have this game just sitting there and not gonna be able to play it, which would probably be even worse.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, it was. I remember ranting on Twitter, and then it all just went really well. Then, and I was like, thank Crom, this is it. And yeah, it was a terrifying time. I don't have any nice memories of the Switch launch. It was
I do remember that too, though, when I had the box and I opened it. Like the first thing you see was a super sparkling, like immaculate Switch, and I was like, technology. Like that was a nice shot, though.
Yeah. Did anybody leading up to the Switch have any? Because I got a story. I guess I just want to set up in case somebody else wants to think of something. The days before the Switch came out. I'll go and then we'll have T go last. I was petrified of getting in a car accident and dying for about 2 weeks. And I drive casual. I don't, I'm always cautious, but I never think twice about it. I'm slowing down at intersections, just making sure no one's running red lights. Like I've never done that in my life ever before. I wasn't gonna mess
out of intersections.
I was not gonna mess playing Breath of the Wild because I was in a hospital and I couldn't. My arms are broken and shit, or dead. So never before in my life have I ever done that. So that's one of the things that stands out the most to me. And then Oddly enough, I can't remember if I had that Friday off. I went to the midnight, but I cannot remember if I had that Friday off because I had the whole following week off. And I just, for the life of me, cannot remember if I worked that Friday. But
I think you did because you played it for like an hour or two because you were messaging us at like midnight and shit. And then you're like, I gotta go to sleep.
I had like Bomberman came in the mail.
I don't think you played
my Link figure came in the mail. I'm like, that didn't all come on Saturday, and I was home when all that stuff arrived. So anyway, Best Buy had a midnight release. It's like the first time for a Nintendo related thing since Best Buy's been around. I think. I mean, maybe they did it for the Wii, but I didn't try that. I went to Walmart and some other stores. But anyway, so I get there. And it's March, and it's in the high 30s, low 40s, and they're just like, yeah, you guys just come inside and wait. We'll get you all set, and at 12:01 you can walk out the door. So they rang us up and everything like before midnight, so that as soon as 12:01 hit, we just scampered out, got a cool Zelda poster, and got my Zelda Amiibo, and it was just cool seeing the guy who was in line when I was at another store picking up my Lucina Amiibo, or not Lucina, the Ganon and Zero Suit. And I've seen this guy at other like launches for Amiibos and stuff. So he was there getting a Switch, talked to him. Steel Fox, my buddy, used to be on the podcast. He was there, and it was just a cool event. Bunch of Nintendo fans, and get home. Same thing as you guys. I see that screen, and I was just like, this thing's tiny. Like, this is so insignificant looking. I was shocked at how tiny and thin this thing was, and it looked nice, but it also felt like it's too small. Like, it was just weird. And I remember turning it on and setting everything up and then docking it. And I mean, Breath of the Wild was just incredible. We'll talk about game specific stuff later, but the one thing, other than not wanting to get in a car wreck before it came out, and it's almost embarrassing to say this, but when I laid down, I smiled for at least an hour while I was trying to fall asleep. Literally just could not stop smiling. I was like, it was like Christmas Eve when I was 10 years old, or when I knew my Super Nintendo was under the tree.
Like you just had grade 6 or something.
It was just so weird. I was getting a little frustrated. Like, stop it, just go to sleep. Like, I just could not stop. I was just grinning ear to ear for probably more like 20 minutes, but it felt like an hour. It was just ridiculous. So it was just nothing ever for me. The N64 was the only other launch that was exciting, and this one just blew it away. So it was a pretty good. Nintendo's got a lot to live up at the next system, because that was a good first impression for me, and pretty memorable. So, T, why don't you share your story?
Yeah. Before I go into my story quickly, I just want to continue the Clock Did It podcast by saying, yes, I was correct about Christian Bale being born in Haverford West.
You bastard.
Wales, that's where he is born. But anyway.
I probably should know this as well.
You would think you would know that. But yeah, I guess I had a couple of heart attack moments. One, I realized that I wasn't going to be around to pre-order because I was in Jamaica at the time. Was that Jamaica? Or no, I was.
You're on a cruise.
I was on a cruise, yeah, and I couldn't call it this. That's not South Pacific. Like going through like the Bahamas area and all that kind of stuff, Mexico and whatnot. And I was like, the internet, you have to pay for it. Like, it was like, being 1995 or something, trying to get internet, and it was super expensive. And I wasn't even able to watch, at least live, the event, the January event. So it was just a very rough time for me, even though I was enjoying myself. And I wish Robert was here, because he was instrumental in me getting a Switch day one, because he pre-ordered it for me. Using my account, so that was very cool of him to do. And obviously, even with that, Amazon, like Terrell said earlier, you don't know if you're gonna get that bad boy day one. So there was still anxiety of getting it. Yeah. And magically, somehow, it was there on the third, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. on the 3rd, and it wasn't quite Juice's experience. I totally understand where you're coming from, because I felt that way with N64 for sure. It's like, I don't want to die before I get to play it, type of thing. N64 and probably the Saturn. And you probably think, oh, the Saturn, why? That was such a disaster. But we didn't have all the information that we have today. So all that stuff wasn't a apparent thing. You just wanted that new shiny console. And it was going to be my first CD-based home console, you know, outside of like having a Sega CD or something. So it was kind of a cool thing. But I just remember, like, there was anxiety. Even once I finally got it, I felt kind of anxious, because I was like, once I play it, this whole buildup is gone, you know? So it's just like, I'm just going to mess around with it for a while. So I remember taking it out of the box. I did an unboxing, you know, just recording the video, and then I like talked over it later. But I just, you know, took everything out slowly, and like Juice, I was like surprised how small it was. It's just like, how is this thing going to be more powerful than the Wii U and whatnot? And it's just a testament to how smartly designed it was as far as the hardware goes, and how they were able. I thought, you know, getting something that small with that power is, you would think it would be more expensive. So I was surprised even that it was even $300. I was a little, I was thinking that, you know, maybe Nintendo would take a loss, but if they didn't, I don't know how they can get it under $3, but they did. So I just messed around with the Joy-Cons. That was my thing. I just messed around with the Joy-Cons, you know, sliding them in, hearing the click sound. I just did that over and over and over again, just messing around, messing with the grip. Did I have I believe I had a.
You got the Pro, I think.
The Pro controller day one, right? Yeah, I believe I had a day one. And even to this day, I just actually did a video for the birthday of the Switch, and I pulled up my Pro controller for the video, and it was kind of dusty because I don't use it all that much. I use it mostly for like maybe indie games and whatnot, but I don't use it a whole lot for like the newer games on Switch, because I prefer the split Joy-Con. You know, if I can play that way and be comfortable, that's how I'll do it. So I have a Pro controller. I use it, but I like to use the new stuff with the new console. I mean, obviously it's still a new controller, but it's still a traditional type of controller. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I played Bomberman. I did play Bomberman first, because I knew once I got into Zelda, it was going to be all over. So I played a couple hours in Bomberman, and then I was just like, can't take it anymore. And I popped in Zelda, and we'll talk about, you know, specifics as far as games go. But that was I was super giddy and excited, and, you know, smelling everything. You know, you pull it out of the plastic and you smell it. You know, you get all the new hardware smell, and I did all that. It was a pretty cool time.
Yeah. I forgot. Well, it wasn't really forgot. It was like the next day I went and got my Pro controller. I gave the Joy-Cons about a 7-hour test drive, and I was just like, nope, I can't.
Said nope.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think me and you got our Pro controllers literally like the same day.
And that was another story, because I had to went to 2 GameStops, Best Buys, Myers, Walmart, and I finally called Target, a super Target, where it's kind of out. It's not really the go-to place for electronics and stuff. Yep, we got 2 sitting here. All right, I'll be there. By the time I got there, there was only 1. Luckily, I was only 5 minutes away. And I swore I wasn't going to buy that damn Pro controller. I made a video about it. Like, I thought it was overpriced. You know, and this, that, whatever. You know, the Joy-Cons are going to be fine. No, I threw down that $74 real quick, because it was really, for me, the Joy-Cons separate are definitely are good, but in the grip, that's what I tried, and I was like, this is just not working for my hands. And you know, the analog sticks have minimal travel, and I just like, yeah, I had to get that Pro controller. And I honestly probably have, because of Resident Evil Revelations, I probably have maybe 30 hours of Joy-Con use not connected to the Switch. And that, you know, I obviously use them for portable mode every time, but When it's on my TV, I think I probably have more like 20 hours of Joy-Con use. Everything else has been that beautiful Pro controller. So that was a hidden cost. You know, I wasn't planning on spending that $74 if you guys remember.
Oh yeah,
the hidden cost article.
I barely use my grip. The only game that I actively pull it out for is like Fast Racing Neo. It just feels I feel like I have better control in that game with the grip and Joy-Cons. So, but yeah, I even have the grip, the one that has the charging input, and it's good for that because you can charge it separately without having it dock. But like, it's kind of useless. I kind of barely use that too. So
for me, it's more like I started playing with the Joy-Cons and the stupid thingy and everything, and I'm like, Juice, I'm holding this controller, and first of all, the shoulder buttons were really weird. Like they felt really loose and stuff. And the X, Y, B thingy buttons, they were really small. Like I didn't understand it. The analog sticks were very low, and like Juice said, they didn't have as much give. And so I played with that for a week. Fortunately, like a little over a week after the launch was my birthday. And my fiance, she gave me the Pro controller, and I never used anything else. The Pro controller for the Switch is the greatest controller ever made. It has like nice big buttons, a standard D-pad, because the Joy-Con D-pad is terrible. Like normal analog sticks and the best shoulder buttons ever. Like I love this fucking controller.
Yeah, but the only thing that's hurting it is no analog triggers. Like I feel like if it just had the analog triggers, it would be my the best favorite. Traditional controller of all time.
It's still the most comfortable and still great, but I can't give it the top nod because of the lack of analog triggers. When a game like they're showing off that motorcycle game that looks like a Trials ripoff, like you got to have analog triggers for that. And if we ever get some racing games, but everything else about it, God, I love it. I just wish they would have thought and put that in. Because the Xbox.
I still don't own the Pro controller. I still don't own it. I've used the Joy-Cons and the brackets for the entire
you're
time.
not missing a whole lot.
The standard.
Don't listen to these guys. Please. Don't listen to these guys. You're not missing that much.
So, what was I gonna say? Where do I want to take this next? Kind of got distracted by that last little conversation. So let's just talk about Zelda for a second, because we have never talked about it before. So let's talk about we talk about this game so damn much, but like to me, I think 90% of my fond memories of this launch day of the Switch and the console itself, even today, is that Breath of the Wild experience. And I know that could have been played on Wii U and stuff, but like here's what I want to talk about: some of the features. I mean, yeah, it's missing stuff from the Wii U, but some of the suspended game option, the screenshot option, which I would been posting screenshots and clocked it, and retro T. I can't remember if you posted a group. Well, you can only do 4 photos
lately because I told you about transferring my.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just quicker to do it on the Switch, and I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, so for me, that screenshot button, but the suspend a game, like, blew my mind. Like the PS4 has it too, and I had the PS4 first, but it's still not as. It's just not as quick, and system don't turn on as quick, and if somehow the power goes out or something, you basically you got to reboot the system. So just going from Wii U, you turn the gamepad on and you had the quick boot up, but still it was, you're talking close to a minute and a half. Some for Smash, it's like feels like 2 minutes, till you're in the game, and the menu, you got to wait for the Miiverse and stuff to, not the Miiverse, but the War to fill out. Like it definitely took some time. The Switch, you turn it on in like 3 seconds, you could play a game, even if it's off. Like I know the 3DS has a suspend and stuff, but for me, like that was like, I just couldn't believe it. Like it was just so fast how even just loading up the game. But once it was loaded, I hit the home menu and I can go to the eShop and stuff, and then hit the home menu again, and you're right back in the game. I was like, hit the, put it in sleep mode. And first time I turned that thing back on, I was like, are you kidding me? It's on. Like I'm already playing Zelda like in seconds. It was just unbelievable. So that, you know, those two things for me and the screenshot, because it's so time consuming on the Wii U. Every time I want to post a screenshot, you got to hit home menu, you got to bring up the browser, you got to go to the Wii U, you know, image share and relog into Twitter and then select, you know, the image and then type. It was
mad slow.
It was ridiculous.
Mad cumbersome.
You know, it was still faster than, if you wanted to type something, you could do it faster than typing on like PS4, Xbox One, but still, like, instant screenshot, post it in seconds, and yeah, it didn't have anything else. Like, we're adding each other, and there's no online games. There's nothing else to do. Play games, buy games, and check the news and take screenshots and post. You know, it was bare bones, but though just the quick boot up speed, the suspend, and the screenshot thing was just like, I can never not have those. It's just game changer in my opinion. So, I mean, there's really no other features to talk about, but if anybody else wants to comment on that.
No other features.
Well, like, the only thing I'm still salty about is that you can't actually turn the system off, neither with the controller or basically on the system itself. It's like ridiculously stupid how that's done.
Yeah, and it doesn't
It
stay
still
off.
bothers me.
If it's docked,
Yeah, that's probably still the worst thing for me personally.
you can't. If it's docked, you can't actually keep it turned off because it will turn right back on once it starts charging.
Yeah, you
So-
plug it, unplug it, and it's like pops on.
So you hold the button, go to turn off, and every once in a while I'll do a restart just to make sure things, you know, you always want to do a restart on things every once in a while. So, but anybody else have any memories of that, experiencing that stuff for the first time?
I think what you brought up there was, I mean, not necessarily just about you know, the first time doing it, but how easy and how refreshingly easy it is just to fire up the Nintendo Switch. It's so quick. It's been one of the biggest reasons why I've barely touched my PS4 since I've had it, because I just can't be bothered going through the effort of waiting for that damn console to boot up. You know,
But
you get the usual
how fast is it?
crap at the beginning.
How fast is it?
What's
Did
that?
you clock it?
Fuck out of here, T.
Good one.
I had to.
Fucking
So
garbage, man. Christ.
But no, it makes a world of difference. You know, like Juice said, you know, once you can just hit that standby button and get straight back into the game, you know, for me it's just a revelation, absolute revelation.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I guess I don't know if it falls under that or if you wanted to address it separately or whatever, but I remember when I finally was able to start playing Zelda, you know, and I'm playing, and you just don't want to play it. And like, shit, I have to go to the toilet so bad, but I don't want to stop playing. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. And you flick it out, and that first time you flick it out and you keep playing, was
Wait,
such an
flick what
amazing
out?
feeling.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What are you flicking?
Oh my god.
Turn on your finger? But yeah, that was, I mean, you could, once I could actually take it into another room where the Wii U, I could barely get to the hallway, get to that, you know, back of my living room. That was another thing. I figure since Terrell brought up kind of a negative, let's just kind of hit some negatives if you have any. Me, it was the lack of any kind of grip or anything to the Joy-Cons in portable mode. Like, trying to play that system and like it's all smooth and it's so thin and smooth, like, and you know, it's wintertime, so you got dry hands usually. I could not hold that thing and like hit the triggers, and like I would hold up on the analog stick and then the system would slip and then I'd stop running. That was one of the, you know, my other complaints about well, it didn't happen in the grip, but in portable mode the Switch would slip and then the Joy-Con would just go to neutral and then Link would stop running. It happened so much. And I'm just like, I cannot play in portable mode. I was really disappointed and kind of bummed out. I forget how long it took me to get those gel grips, but man, that was an absolute game changer for me. Like, portable mode is now definitely playable for extended periods of time. I would say the lack of ergonomics in portable. I know they did it, you know, so the things slide in the dock easy and stuff, and the Joy-Cons could slide in the grip. But to me, it wasn't worth the sacrifice of not having any kind of ergonomics, because it's just, to me, it was unplayable in portable mode, and it still is unless I have the grips on. So
Yeah, I would say I highly agree with that.
But you got to remember the most talked about, thing that was terrible about the Switch.
I know what you're going to say now.
Not being able to slide off those straps, man. It was just impossible, and it's just it's a detriment to the console even to this day that people still talk about that.
Like, just because people can't fucking read.
Oh wait, that's not a problem. And it
definitely works better now than day one. It was a little snug, I will say.
But no, it's more like you have those people,
putting it on upside down and all this nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you have those children, and you have like when you were little, you had like those wooden boxes, and you have to put like a circle and a square. That's what people were doing, like trying to ram like a circle in a square. What are you doing? There's a plus there. You read the fucking thing. You put the plus, you slide it in. That's it. It's not that hard.
Come on, man. We're gamers. We don't read here. Get that shit out of here.
And everyone was trying to hate on it at first. You remember that? What was that video?
It felt like everybody was
what
trying
was
to find something to nitpick about.
Then we have a few, like, something wrong with the screen or something. I know that the little rub mark, which mine...
No, it was
people started crying about dead pixels, for example, because they don't understand how the world works.
No, the rub mark. That was a big thing, remember?
I thought it was the dog scratching the screen. I thought that was the big thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like the dog scratching. I thought it was. I saw at least 3 videos about it.
Yeah, somebody said in the chat, Super Metal Dave.
Wow, you were trash.
That went crazy. So.
A massive design flaw. Someone said Super Metal Dave was talking about. I don't remember. I didn't watch that. So
actually, that was probably the best video. Watching OJ and Super Metal Dave's reaction to the Switch.
that was classic right there. That was some classic stuff.
That was the best part of the Nintendo Switch land. Yeah,
that was the October reveal. That Salt Face.
That was the October reveal.
SMD Salt Face. That guy created that account. That shit was great. But any other negative? I mean, we have the lack of features and the lack of messaging and anything to do with the friends list. There was no point to having it for the first till an online game came out. Like Bomberman didn't work great, so I can't remember the first online game I really tried. Maybe Fast RMX, maybe Mario Kart 8, but
I thought Fast RMX had to get a patch for the.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it came out after Mario Kart or not. So. But important. That was definitely a weakness.
The initial Switch experience was quite personal. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a whole lot of sharing and gaming online. At least the first month, couple months.
The other thing people were saying is the launch lineup was weak. There's no.
Oh games. yeah, that's right. It's paltry.
That was such a dumb complaint.
I mean, if you take away Zelda, the lineup was after that wasn't great. Yeah. But I mean, I think that was intentional.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many copies Zelda sold.
Mm-hmm. It was almost 1-to-1 in the first quarter. Yeah. So, any other? Are we forgetting? I mean, somebody mentioned the kickstand.
For me, the only negative thing that I actually remember, for me personally, that I thought was negative was after I had it. Like I said, I spent literally half an hour on Google trying to find out how to turn it off. That was really my only problem.
Yeah, that was an adjustment, not having to actually turn off the thing.
I never really had to adjust to that because I'm used to it with my tablet. And
yeah, that's true.
I don't do it on my laptop ever. I don't have a PC laptop, so I don't have to worry about this stuff. So,
in addition, that's what you're trying to do. You thought you were fucking clever.
A little shade.
You ain't cheating.
You got to restart those PCs every 5 minutes.
We're gonna have this. This will never die. This will never die. All right.
But yeah, so it didn't really bother me initially, but when you wanted to do it, it was a few months in before I was like, I need to do that, and it was pretty strange at that point. But
yeah, I remember sitting there with my Joy-Cons, and I was utterly convinced that if you pressed the buttons in a certain combination, the Switch would turn on. Because sometimes it happened. I'm sure it did, and I still try to do it now, and I don't know whether I'm just not aware that it actually was its standby in the first place. But sometimes I'm convinced it's completely switched off, and somehow I managed.
It was a button combination, and then doing the Awada directly to you thing. That's how you.
Yeah, to the
All right, so let's get into a little just real quick, Zelda. For me, like being on the plateau and playing the game, you know, you get through the initial. I forget at some point the day-night cycle kicks in. It doesn't. It's you know, they want you to always come out and have the sunrise and stuff, and it stays day until I forget if it's after you talk to the old man or hit the first shrine. I vividly remember the first time it went to night, and I was just like, oh my god, this looks. I love the design, the way they designed the night, where it's not like so black you can't see. It just looks so awesome, and I just kind of looked at the moon. I took a screenshot of it, and I'm just like listening to the sounds of the animal, the birds, and the wind and the grass rustling, and I was just like, this is real. I have this game now. Like this, I've waited forever. I'm playing Breath of the Wild finally, and it's not only is it as good as I was thinking and hoping, it's even better. And I was just like, God, I played for a couple hours, and I didn't work the next day, I remember. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I tried it in portable mode. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna wake up. I got all day to play it, and I got a whole week off, so I had like 10 straight days. And I was like, I'll just take a little break, go to sleep, and man, it was just the closest thing to it is Mario Kart or Mario 64. The first time I played that at Toys R Us demo, so it was just like those two games stand above anything else for like remembering the first time. It's like we've played, I don't know how many games, third-person games, adventure games, open world games. You know, Rise of the Tomb Raider was my game of the year the previous year, and all these games we played before, Xenoblade, Chronicles X. You know, there's just why does it? I just still don't know why it felt so different and new to me. It was like I barely played games like that ever before. You know, it was like everything else was on mute, and then Breath of the Wild was like full volume or something. It's hard to describe, and I don't know. They just did such a phenomenal job with the atmosphere and everything, and I just still remember that that first time it got night, and then getting off the plateau the next day, I think, and seeing those horses and trying to creep on them, sneak up on them, and it was unbelievable. So it was just. I don't
be creeping on horses.
Yeah, I was creeping up. I'm
gonna call the police.
So it's just God, it was
scary motherfucker. But watch him, sir. There's a man out here trying to steal my horse. He's wearing this blue shirt. I don't know what the fuck is going on though.
I don't think he had the blue shirt yet. I had a little old, I don't know.
He was naked. There was a naked man trying to grab my horse.
So that was,
and by horse you mean no.
Wow, T.
All right, let's get it back on track. So Clock, did I know Breath of the Wild for you is, I think were you and T are twins in most ways. I think you and I are the twins in our Breath of the Wild experience, because T's number 2 game of 2017. So but why don't you share your first memories of playing? Like what was, you have like a memory that stood out the most?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got the game, I think if you remember, there was so much stuff footage before that, from E3 and or from the events or whatever, that you kind of knew a little bit of the starting area anyway. People always going straight to the Temple of Time and finding some hidden chests and stuff, and seeing some people climbing up the side of the Temple of Time. And so when I first came out of the cave, and you're just standing there, it's the first thing I done. I kind of just went that set path, because it kind of leans you towards that way anyway, doesn't it? You go down a hill, you see the old man, the Temple of Time is right in front of you, and I went in there and I ran straight up to the goddess statue, and I just stood there and I was like, do you know what? I'm not gonna follow what everyone else done with this. I'm not gonna go and get those chests and stuff. So I immediately left there and I went, right, let's see what's going on. And as I ran around the plateau, because that's all I'd done first of all, I didn't do any story pass, anything like that. I didn't like raise up the initial tower or whatever straight away. I ran around for a while, and I think a lot of people forget how hard that game was when you first played it.
That's right.
You get one shot of the lot, and you're like, yo, what the hell? This is the hardest Zelda I've played in my life. And a lot of people forget that. A year ago, everyone was saying this is the hardest Zelda I've ever played in my life. I can't, again, one shot, the game's broken and all this stuff. And but I was loving it. I think a lot of long time Zelda players were loving it. It's kind of what we've been asking for. And like you, once you start initiating stuff on the Great Plateau, and the world starts feeling coming more alive, and you first go up to the frozen area, and you're trying to work out how to do the cheppers or just stay bloody warm, and just all this stuff. The starting area never felt like a tutorial ground to me. It always felt like the open world, even though you knew it wasn't a fully open world because you couldn't drop off the side or anything. It never felt like it was locked to me. I felt straight from the beginning that I could literally go anywhere and do anything. And oh god, and when you first start hearing those chimes and the music as you're just running around, those little piano notes and everything, it was just I was just in love, and it just took me back to that time where you had your Mario 64 moment. I had my Ocarina of Time moment when I first saw that game on demo. I was working in a game shop at the time, and we got a VHS tape in showing us some N64 games, and it was the demo of Ocarina of Time, and it's kind of like when you see that one game, you just know before you've even touched it, this is going to be the one. And I felt that with Breath of the Wild straight from the beginning. I was like, this game is going to be special, and it obviously just turned out to be. Blew my mind.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. I was telling Terrell a couple days before, like watching Horizon reviews and seeing how
I remember that
Aloy animated, and her, I was like, man, it looks a lot like Tomb Raider. I love that. Love it. And I don't know, Zelda's looking a little stiff. The combat looks a little uninspired, but man, once you really get into the depth, and I had forgotten about that. I was dying quite often, and I was down to like a stick as a weapon because you're not used to dealing with that. So let's go to Terrell next, because I don't think he beat a Zelda game before Breath of the Wild.
No, I didn't.
You weren't a big Zelda fan like the rest of us. So what was your initial feelings, if you can remember?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, I remember, because before I even got my hands on the game, I think Robert did like a 24-hour stream, and I was watching some of his shit, and I was just kind of like, and it's one of those things because I've played open world games before, but I guess the thing about Breath of the Wild that kind of blew me back more than anything else was how, especially for a Nintendo game, how non-tutorial heavy it is, and just the amount of systems that were in place, specifically like the heating, that like the whole physics engine just threw me the fuck off, and the weather engine with the whole, if you walk into the cold area and you ain't wearing any clothes or you're not eating any, because that was the thing I knew that tripped up a lot of players in the beginning. When you were still on the plateau, you had to go into the cold area, and people didn't realize, like, well, how the hell do I make it through here, because I'm losing health because I'm so cold. And I think that's when I started cooking. And I think that was probably around the time when it hit me about how different of a game this was. It's kind of hard to compare it to a Zelda game, because it doesn't feel like a Zelda game to me. Even from the little bit of the games I had played, I think what just blew me back was, I'm kind of a tech nerd sometimes. So I like the design of the plateau a lot. I liked how, even though it wasn't teaching you anything directly, it was still teaching you how the systems work to a degree. And it just, man, like, even I remember the first time I found out when you could light the grass on fire, and you use the parasail to fly up, and then go from that to a slow motion arrow shot. And if you were smart enough, I think they used that one sequence where there's like a skull cave and there's an explosion barrel in it. And if you blind it up, you could just, and it's just like, those are like 5 or 6 things going on at the same time. And you're like, Jesus Christ, how do you, and the fact that you could do that literally anytime you want it. It wasn't even like a specific, this is like a cutscene. Like in a normal game, it'd be like a quick time event or some shit. That's something you can do at any point in the game. And I was like, it blew me away. I think the last thing I'll mention, and I think a lot of people got caught with this because it wasn't really shown off in game in like preview footage much, is the fact that you get struck by lightning. Because everyone, for the most part, I mean, there were probably some people who didn't find out until later, but the way I found out was getting struck by lightning and pausing for a second going, is that random? Do I just randomly get struck by lightning? And then I looked at my back and went, oh my God, it's because I'm wearing metal. And I had to go, oh, what?
Remember how scary that lightning was?
First.
Oh, yeah, because you're not paying any attention. You're like, oh, it's just raining. I'm good. I just can't climb walls. All of a sudden, bang! And you're like, Jesus Christ.
That would have been even greater if it didn't get spoiled. Someone posted like a 5-second clip on like a GIF on Twitter, and I shared it or I liked it, and some people like, why? I didn't want to see that, and I was like, I kind of wish I hadn't either. But for me, like the lightning first thunderstorm didn't happen till I was well off the plateau and a couple stables, and I was finally ran into one, and it did terrify me. So I had forgotten about that too. But what about the challenge for you, Terrell? Did you feel like it was pretty tough in the beginning?
Yeah, especially because I was still learning the patterns of enemies. I think almost everybody was the Lionel. It was the Lionel and the Guardians, and unfortunately for me, I had the luck of running into a higher level Lionel than most people. I think most people first Lionel, if they went the direct way, was the Zoro domain Lionel, which I found out, and I didn't realize this until I saw people do it. And it should have came natural to me, considering how open this game is. You don't actually have to fight him.
You can do now. They've updated it.
Oh, they updated it.
You can't get the arrows.
Okay, because they did. I think
fight them.
Before they patched it, you could literally bypass him. I didn't realize it until I saw people say, "Do I have to fight him?" And I saw people walk around and sneak behind him and get the arrows. I was like, "Oh my God, why didn't I think to do that?"
Yeah, you get close now, and it prompts a little cutscene where starts the fight. So there's no getting around it anymore. So I think they figured that out. People were just sneaking around getting arrows, which I mean, it's kind of if you figured that out, that's props to you, you know.
Yeah, I feel like they shouldn't have took that out. I feel like you should still have the ability to do that. Yeah. But I just really appreciated the challenge because it was difficult, but it wasn't like fuck it, I give up difficult. It was like, I think I'm gonna learn this, and you die a few times, or depending on how good you were, you die a lot, and then you got better. And I felt that sense of accomplishment for finally figuring out patterns and flurry rushes and using all the systems. So I appreciate the difficulty.
Nintendo Ultra was the first person I seen use the perfect guard on a stationary Guardian, and I'm like, no shit. And then I had to practice that. You know, it's one of those games where you didn't want stuff spoiled, but it also you can pass something on to somebody, and just like in the real world, like, hey, I was doing this and I wasted a bunch of time, and then I figured this out, you know, pass your knowledge on to the next person type of thing. So I think that was kind of a cool little thing, but you also didn't want to be spoiled and spoil people, you know.
Well, it's technique, stuff like that. I don't think you can really get spoiled by that. I think it's like, oh, that's cool.
That's something.
Let me try to do it, because you still have to do it. It's not like
you still have to practice.
Yeah.
I think it's just that in Breath of the Wild, so much shit is possible. Half of it, you don't even think of it, and somebody out there just crazy enough to try shit.
Yeah.
Like what did the dude do? He like somehow timed it so an animal or something was like in between him and the Guardian beam just as it shot. Something ran in front. I think it was one of those the Yiga clan dudes just popped up, man. And he timed it perfectly. So the Yiga clan guy took the brunt of the Guardian beam. It was just like, I would have never thought to try to do that.
That's like only a month ago or something. You had a video of the dude who threw the boomerang and then did the metal magnet thing, and the boomerang is like flying in the air. It's crazy what you can do.
And let's go to Retro and T, and then I still got some other things I just thought of too about Breath of the Wild. But Retro, you have like your first memories or most memorable thing from your first playtime?
I definitely have a first impression that I'll never forget. It's kind of like based off what Clocked said, because in the beginning, You have to like the trailers, and then the treehouse starts playing it, and again and again, and they bring it up, and you soak in like all those. Even though it's always the same shit, you know, you see those 100 hours of footage, and you always see shit in the background, and you're like, damn, like you plan your journey, what you want to do once you can start playing the game, and so then I got the game. And then I basically like kind of rushed through the plateau because I've seen it already anyway. So because I wanted to start the adventure, and I think me and my fiance we both have a different thing. She always saw this floating island in the background that we thought was a floating island. So she jumped off the plateau and she ran that way. And my favorite characters in Zelda are the Gorons. So I knew from the start, like, okay, I have everything. I can go where I want. So I walked up north, and like I jumped off the plateau, and I ran straight for Death Mountain. I just didn't stop running all over the field and shit. And the thing is, in between there and Death Mountain is Hyrule Castle. So I'm walking, and all of a sudden this guardian pops up, you know. And when you have like a stick, you know, that's not really good. Like one shot me. It's such a. I'll never forget that stuff. Just like when you can finally do what you want, and that's the great thing about Breath of the Wild. You can just create your own adventure. And I remember like the Death Mountain is the first shit I did. This is the first Divine Beast I did because I wanted to see the Gorons and experience that. It's still one of my favorite areas. Always like this volcano levels and stuff. I just remember just running through that field like the first few seconds. I was like Braveheart, you're like freedom.
And then you started seeing Guardians everywhere, and then
yeah, I had to take a little detour afterwards.
Nope.
God, I remember just trying to avoid them every step of the way. I was trying to get close to the castle, and it was so intense. Like no other game has like had me that, you know, not petrified, but just so worried about running into enemies and stuff. Like Xenoblade Chronicles X would probably be the closest to me, like seeing a level 80, you know, trying to avoid it. But those feel a little less. It feels a little more like they're just on a set path on X, whereas Zelda just feels a little more organic, and I'm just like trying to sneak around. So, T, why don't you give your first memories, and then we'll just kind of, if anybody has any other things to say on Zelda, then we'll move on.
I'll try to quickly do mine because I don't want to retread, because we had basically a weekly, when the game came out with a weekly discussion on what we were blown away by. So just to say on the fright factor, this game, even though it's not a horror game, probably scared me more than any horror game I've ever played, because one, seeing those guards, I was like, nope, not messing with those guys. And so just trying to avoid them, but still wanting to see more of the world was just like it was scary. It was like, and the game didn't cheat you from it out of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you snuck well, you got by it. But you'll have some games where the game will just notice you for no good reason, you know. And this game is so good at allowing those moments to happen. It's just a testament to the design of it. But the other thing, I actually tweeted about it yesterday, tweeted about the fact that these things used to scare the hell out of me, and it was the Lionels. And just being like, you're walking or whatever, and you notice one, but it notices you, and it just stands still. And like, that used to scare the shit out of me. Like, oh no, let me get out of here. Early on, because you weren't ready for it. And even when you got a little bit readier, it was still tough to deal with. So, but now they're much easier to deal with. But I think the testament to this game is the fact that I'm playing it more because I'm going through the DLC still. I'm about 75% done with it, and the game to me is like, as far as enjoying it, I still enjoy it the same much as I did the first week of playing it. And to me, that's a testament to how good the game is. I'm not bored with it. I'm not just going through the motions playing the DLC. I'm still actively enjoying it. I'm still seeing new things as far as the landscape goes. And it's just a testament to how great this game is. And running out there from the resurrection room, and running out and seeing, the Great Plateau, and then seeing the whole world, it's going to be hard to beat that as far as my gaming goes in the future, how like blown away by it I am. And just like Clock that said, for some of you guys who might be a little young and may not have heard of software, etc. It was one of the gaming stores we used to go to back in the day. It was mostly computers, PC stuff, but had a lot of video game stuff in it too. And I remember walking in. It had to be like 1990, probably early 98. Walking in and looking at. There was no monitor. There was a giant TV, a CRT TV, and seeing Ocarina of Time for the first time, and seeing like Link fall down into the Dodongo cavern and face off against King Dodongo, like that was so amazing to see. And Breath of the Wild, that whole, like I said, that initial view of the world was definitely very close to that, if not surpassing it slightly, as far as like my being blown away by video games. So that's all I'll say about that.
It was it was magical, and just some quick little memories, things I was thinking about. Like, I forgot about the runes. I mean, I used the bombs, and it was the Cryonis. Like, there's so many times where I was like, I can't cross this river. Like, I don't have a stamina. I'm like, can't get up this. Once I figured out that I could make ice, like, remembered and just started utilizing the ice blocks, like, you could cross any land of water. Like, you just stand on one, make another one, you swim to it. Like, once
Did
I
that
realized,
make the rap useless to you?
Basically made the rap useless, but it's a cool thing. I mean, did it to climb a waterfall. Like, before didn't know there was something. The Zora's thing to make me swim up waterfalls, I freaking took the time to climb one slowly with using that. So just getting used to like the new mechanics, because it really doesn't feel that much like a Zelda game. And then just being drawn to every little thing and getting distracted constantly is just, constantly happening. And it was amazing. And it just, you find something, even though people said it was empty, I found something interesting, like, constantly, and all those little cool moments. Too many we'd have to do a whole separate podcast. But and then just real quick, Retro said something about how the plateau was designed. Like, you felt like it was really, like, didn't feel like a tutorial. I think the plateau is so perfectly designed, like, in the way it looks, the way it's laid out.
I bet that was me, but okay.
Was it you? All right, it was Terrell.
No, it was me.
Oh, was it?
It wasn't you. It's fine. It's whatever.
Somebody was talking about.
It was me.
Retro definitely said it didn't feel like a tutorial, didn't you?
It was one of us.
All of us, probably.
It's fine.
Just how, like, they must have spent just a ton of time fine-tuning that.
I was going to say they probably spent like a year on the plateau. Just
because it's so perfectly laid out. Teaches you, okay, you got to cook, or you can eat these peppers one at a time, or, like some people, to stay warm. You got these forest areas, you got bandit camps and shrines. You got not a Lionel, but you had a guardian in the master mode. There's a Lionel up there, but you got a guardian that's stationary, and you learn just so much. And it's just like so fond memories of all the different areas. There's that where you learn that the grass can burn. The only area in the game where there's always wind, like, tunneling through this between these two cliffs or whatever. And just so much variety. Like, the plateau, I don't think we've even really discussed how well designed the plateau is. There's this stone talus to fight, so you get your first mini bosses. I mean, it was just really well done. So
I actually felt ripped off at one point, because when you saw basically the demos that everybody was played on E3 and everything, there's a part on the Great Plateau where there's a skull and there's enemies there, and people always got the fire rod from their chest. So that was one of the first things I tried to look up, because I thought that was so freaking cool. So I go to so much effort. It was so dangerous, one of the first things I did. And I opened that chest, and there was like a rupee or a stick in it. Like, it was just meant for the demo that you got the rod. I felt so ripped off.
I also wanted to throw in real quick. I never fought a Stone Talus until after I beat the game.
What?
I never ran into it.
How did you buy stuff? Like, that was my money mining technique.
Mining them, yeah.
No, I didn't. I had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Wow, they dropped so
many.
many.
Did nothing but walking on the roads and shit.
Emeralds and amber. What is it? Is that it?
Yeah,
amber, rubies, sapphires.
I think because I saw people fight it, and I was like, "Damn, I haven't run across this thing at all."
Yeah, it just looks like a rock till you walk over it.
Yeah, I never fought it until after I beat the game. I remember
Well,
that.
I went 180 hours, and I tweeted about it. I went 180 hours before I found the freaking bear, and and I was just like, wow. Oh,
And the funny thing is, I think you were still like one of the first ones to find it.
Yeah, that was crazy because not a lot of people were still like, whoa, there's bears,
and you can ride them. The fuck?
You can ride them.
That? I mean, everyone, we all wanted as well, because as soon as you discovered that you could ride different animals, we were like, right, we want to keep these now. We don't just want horses. And, we were begging at the time for a patch to come in to say, right, patch this game so we can ride these animals from stables or whatever.
You go to the stable and the guy's like, are you kidding me? Come on.
Even that little special deer, like glowing tribute to Iwata.
Yeah,
like, whoa, what is that? Like that thing's cool. It sounds cool when it walks. But any other Clockton, let me just ask you real quick. There's a notorious debate back in the day about riding horses, not riding horses. Where do you stand on Breath of the Wild? Do you traverse on horseback, or are you on foot a lot?
I actually use the horse. I feel a lot more than other people, because I just found I done this in my video. I just found galloping around the fields just so much
music.
Yeah, it was just beautiful, and I think I'd done it just purely for that, just to have that moment last a bit longer. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of times where you just like this horse is just stopping me from seeing things. You got to get off and do whatever. But I have to admit, I made the effort to try and use the horse as much as I could, because I did really enjoy it. I mean, at the end of the day, you know how much effort they put into those horses, that the sounds, each one sounded different as it runs on the road. And if you just leave the horse stand there and listen to it, they're absolutely beautiful creatures in the game. And I still defend today that they are the best horses in any video game ever. There's no contest, not even from Shadow of the Colossus. Just don't even bother.
I was reminded. I thought Shadow was good until played the original and the remake. It's not holding up, but yeah, we spent a lot of time on Breath of the Wild. I will say one last thing.
When we're talking about our first experience, that was a huge part of your Switch experience, was playing.
It was,
game.
yeah.
So
it's like you said, it still is. That's how good the game is.
Last night, I turned the game on, and I had stopped. There's some really good rolling grassy hills just on the other side of Kakariko Village, on the other side of those like hills and mountains, if towards the Hyrule Castle. And I had stopped there because I love the vantage point. And so I boot the game up. It's been a few months, and it's raining. It's like sunset, and I'm standing there. And I'm like, just listen to the rain, because I just watched Clockton's video, and like, just listen to the sound. The horse is making noise. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just slowly pan and just do share the video, 30 seconds video. Halfway through the pan, the rain starts letting up. And then I turn, all of a sudden the sun comes out and it's setting, and it's like this amazing sunset. And I wasn't planning that. And then the horse shakes off the water. I've never, a year later, almost 300 hours in the game, I never noticed the horse shaking off the water like a wet dog. And it captured in that video, completely unplanned, had no idea the sun was going to pop out and see the sunset. And it was just amazing. So I shared that on Twitter yesterday and made it kind of my, celebrating the 1 year tweet. And it was just so perfect that it happened like that. And again, a year later, first time I've ever noticed or seen the horse shaking off water after rain. So it's just, I'm still seeing things I hadn't seen before. But all right, let's move on, because there's more.
No.
But let's do a quick little guessing game. Don't turn on your switches and cheat, even though Zelda's playtime has been erased. It's obvious. I've said it many times. Zelda is my most played game, almost 300 hours. I forget what it was at now. I got to wait. Hopefully that patch or whatever, hopefully it pops back up. It says zero days right now. So I wrote down, according to the Switch, it's 5-hour chunks, play times. My second most played game is going to be pretty easy. You guys want to throw it out there?
I was going to say Rocket League.
Nope.
Xenoblade?
Someone say it without any doubt.
Xenoblade.
Okay, yep, Xenoblade. All right. My number 3 game. What do you guys, and I want y'all to make a guess. What do you think my number 3 most played game on the Switch is?
Rocket League.
Arms.
Okay.
I'm going with Arms.
Mario.
Which?
Odyssey. What do you mean which?
Why did I forget?
Oh, damn.
Okay.
I forgot about Mario.
Number 3 most played game, Terminator Juice, Splatoon 2.
What? No way.
Really?
75 plus hours.
Fuck.
I could not believe it when I saw it.
You played
I
more
guess
than
I played a lot of that single player, and we did have some long game sessions, but
After all that shade.
yeah, I know.
No, the
that-
shade
that
is
kinda
still real.
feel- somebody said Runbow in the chat. Did that ever come out?
But that's
I don't think
because
that's
of
out
so
on the
much.
Switch.
That's
But-
because of so much shit. Because we all still put time in it. I think my Splatoon is also at like 65, and that's
Yeah.
why we have all this shit to say about it.
Yeah, it's not like I
Yeah.
just quit. I mean, I gave it a fair chance, and I mean, I like the game enough. I just wish it would change some things. So the next 2 are kind of easy. You guys, people have already guessed them. So, but what do you think? What do you think? My playtime for Odyssey is.
I know I'm going to guess it's like 60.
135.
No, because it can't.
80 hours.
It's my
That's-
4th most played game.
It's your 4th most played now game, so
Probably more
Oh,
like
it's
5.
gonna be less.
so like 50, 55.
No, it's got to be more. He played more than me, I think. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
but I
about
mean, he
80.
said
something
Splatoon's
around
at
80.
75.
Well, it can't be 80 because that's
Yeah,
more than
4.
Oh,
two.
okay.
Splatoon's 75, so it's gotta be 60.
Oh, math, man.
It was 70 hours, which I was surprised.
Oh.
I didn't know I played it that much.
Jesus.
And then Rocket League was same 70, Arms at 60. So I was surprised. I was surprised by Splatoon 2. I was surprised my Odyssey hours got that high, and I thought Rocket League would be higher, honestly, because I played almost
will
every
be.
day. It will be. It'll.
That kind of hours in the game when you don't buy 10 games a week like me and Retro.
Yes. Very true. So my least played game, and I forgot to share my day 1 story. I put Bomberman in for 10 minutes, played it, and then played Zelda for about 60 before I think I tried Bomberman again. And Retro destroyed us online. And I was like, I played again until last week. That's how long it went. 6 months, 8 months probably.
He's definitely more proficient.
And I'm actually selling that to Steel Fox for $25. So, because he kind of always enjoyed those games. But anyway, I guess kind of curious now what everyone else's top 3 play times are. Want to just, if you can, obviously
I
Zelda's.
think I have my system open. If
You got your
instantly check
Switch.
that.
You
Yeah,
wanna
let
just-
me check real quick.
I'm gonna just for retro. I'm gonna say Zelda. I'm gonna say Xenoblade and Splatoon 2. Same.
It's going to be most people's.
No, for
No?
me it's gonna be. I gotta double check Mario because yeah, okay. It's gonna be Zelda, Rocket League, and then Mario.
Damn.
But Mario, I'm basically done playing it, and it takes like 5 hours before I catch up with Xenoblade because I'm fully going into Baghdad again now. Like I said, Rocket League, I love that game. We play it weekly, we play it, so it's insane. I think with Zelda, I'm at 220.
Yeah. Terrell's gonna be easy. Xenoblade number 1.
And then Xenoblade number 2 and Xenoblade number 3.
Y'all shit.
I'm gonna
I play
say.
other games, you
I'm gonna
bad.
say Xenoblade 1, Arms 2, Splatoon.
I'm gonna say
3.
Fire Emblem Warriors is gonna be second for him, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon Fire Emblem.
All right, what do you say?
Do you want to know what it is? It's actually
Yeah.
a tie for number 3, by the way.
Go ahead.
It's Xenoblade at 180. It's Zelda at 65, and it's Arms and Splatoon at 60.
But I
Damn.
always see you play Fire Emblem when I'm on Switch. How much are you at that?
I only got like 25, 20. I think it says at 25 right now.
That's
How
about.
the fuck do
what
you
those
do that
games
with
were.
the game?
because I beat the main game in 25 hours.
That's
and-
about what the playtime I got out of Hyrule Warriors. I mean, that's about all there is, in my opinion. But anyway,
Yeah.
Wow, you
So,
savage.
that's
You fucking savage.
Yeah, T is gonna be hard for me to guess too. I'd say Zelda and Splatoon 2, top 2 with Mario 3.
Shit. I'm gonna say
I'm gonna T has like
I'll be cheating now.
Zelda,
I'm gonna say-
Mario, and something super shady.
Wow.
Super shady.
God, dude.
Like that Redux.
Oh, Lego
game,
City. Yeah, that's not
That Soldier Redux one.
Oh god.
You
Wow,
played
y'all
that for
some
quite
shit.
a bit. Actually.
It's a fun game. I'm
I'm gonna still say Zelda's the number one.
Road Trooper. No, but it's not long enough.
Yeah, Zelda's number one. Fuck. I guess
God,
Zelda. I'm gonna be reckless. I'm gonna say Zelda, Xenoblade, and Mario.
What does anybody Mario? Any other guesses?
No, I reckon it's Zelda, Mario Kart, and Odyssey.
Oh right. I forgot about Mario.
Mario Kart.
Splatoon 2
Yeah,
is
but you
definitely-
forget that T isn't good at Mario Kart.
Ouch!
Whoa.
Ouch! I wouldn't say I'm not good. I'm just pretty average at it.
Well, compared to Juice, you're
Well,
not good.
I'm a lot better in the battle mode, but I like that. Should I just go ahead and go?
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Because you guys
Do we?
probably would have never guessed my number 2. You got my number 1, Zelda. That's
Yeah.
sure. Number 2, NBA 2K18. You motherfuckers.
Wow.
I could
I
have
got
guessed that. Yeah.
80
Yeah, I forgot
hours in
about
that
that.
game.
Really?
Oh, 80 hours.
Yeah.
didn't
Because
know
every
some
game,
content.
because I play full games, and every game is roughly an hour. So I'm getting close to finishing the season. So there's 83 games in the season. So
Wow.
and I also did some what do you call it? Some of the that other mode, the career mode, not the career mode, the one where you basically
It's a single player, isn't it?
yeah, it's like a single player game. So
I know
yeah,
what
I'm
you're
about
So 3 is
about 80
gotta be
hours in that.
Splatoon.
And number 3 is Splatoon, yeah, Splatoon 2. At 70, I believe. 65, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so clocked it. Zelda, Xenoblade, and then I have honestly don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna say that shit. What was that game? 1945 or some shit. I always see you playing it. I'm gonna say that one.
1945, really?
You played a year?
That's a classic
Fuck.
shooter, man. That's a classic shooter.
That's a classic, man. It's classic.
SNK game.
Yeah. I don't know if you can put that many hours into it with you being in top 3.
It's like in the last like month, I think every time he comes up, he's playing that shit.
I've never seen him playing that, but you guys are in different time zones, so.
It's just one of those quick blast games. You know, you can jump on it, boom,
Yeah.
do it,
yeah.
and then get up.
All right, what are your top 3? I'm dying.
My top 3 are pretty obvious, or pretty boring. I say boring, they're not boring because they're all fucking awesome. But yeah, obviously Zelda at number 1. I think before the reset, I had about 240 or 50 hours on it. As I'm still working my way through master mode. Second game is at 130 hours. You can probably guess.
Xenoblade.
Easy, yep. And the
You're on
last
my
one,
level.
Xenoblade 2, yeah, yeah.
the last one's 70 hours.
70?
I guess I'm gonna with Mario then.
Yeah, I guess I'll say Mario too.
Yeah, it's gotta see, man. Don't forget I gotta see.
Gotta
Again,
see.
Is
Gotta
literally I don't want to say literally. It to me it feels almost twice as enjoyable on my second playthrough. Like it's crazy how much more
Beautiful.
amazing the game feels to me on my second playthrough. I don't
I've got
understand
multiple
it.
playthroughs. I only have one.
Well,
on pretty much all my
Dude,
games.
I'm at close to 300 moons on my second playthrough. I'm finishing up the Launchion Kingdom, and I'm just enjoying every second of it. I don't know why. It must have been my 3D World hangover. Like, I just really love 3D World, and I could not accept my first playthrough for some reason that this wasn't 3D World. I don't know, but it's so good.
I said somebody on my
3D
list
World
had
was a shit.
friends list had like 480 hours in Zelda.
Yeah, I've seen
Must-
a guy
has
with
to be
300. 300. I was going through my friends list, and I'm like, who is this person? And I added him through like Doom or something that one first night we played. And he had like 275 hours in NBA and like 20 hours in Zelda. So guess what happened? I removed him from the old friends list. I didn't know who he
Wow.
was anyway. We just
Fucking garbage, Juice.
we played Doom, and I was like, oh, I had this person, because we had some good matches. But I'm sorry, I can't have that on my friends for somebody I don't know.
Hey,
I don't mind
got
the
same
NBA.
thing.
I don't mind the NBA playtime. It's just the fact that
How dare you?
Zelda was so low. I was just like, come on.
I
Come on,
drop
man.
you if you're not playing any games. Like if I hasn't played in 15 days.
Yeah, I
you're
did that too.
done. Bye.
Yeah, I wouldn't drop like somebody like Tony Coran in the chat or something like.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. People that I know, like I
People-
know by name. I can be like, all right,
Mhm.
he hasn't played in a while. That's fine. But like random people that haven't played in like a month, bye.
So, all right, let's kind of any other gaming memories. I mean, obviously for me, nothing holds up to Zelda. Just I guess how much fun ARMS was, how much I love that was surprising and really enjoyed that. And then Rocket League for me would probably be it was just so cool playing it, having fun, sucking, and then 70 hours later having fun, and I'm pretty good now. But it's just fun either way. I still don't. If I'm losing, winning, I mean, I'm still just having fun. For me, that the fact that those types of games got announced, so late after the Switch launch, and didn't know about Doom, Rocket League, and then just be such great versions of the game and great additions to my Switch lineup. I don't really have any like super game specific memories of something awesome, that I can remember. Mario plus Rabbids had some pretty good moments. Odyssey had good moments, but nothing really stands out. I guess Xenoblade Chronicles 2, some of the funny dialogue took me off guard, and I was laughing full volume out loud. It was just so funny. So I don't really have any like Zelda-like memories, but maybe somebody else does. So Terrell, you got any other to sum up some gaming memories that pops in your head?
I got is Xenoblade on the mind. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to repeat that shit. So let's I talk about ARMS a lot. You know what? Fuck it. Let's give some Fire Emblem Warrior memories, because as much as that game had me pretty scared into getting into it because of the fuckery with the roster and people being pretty like, why is it coming out like, what was it, like a week before Odyssey?
Yeah.
That game was way better than people give it credit for, and I really loved the improvements they made to Hyrule Warriors formula going into this game. And I just also when I unlocked Lyn and Celica and some of the extra characters you get after you beat the story, it made that game a lot more fun. Trying to think of another game I can touch.
That's one complaint I have about Fire Emblem Warriors, though, because I like with Hyrule Warriors, you had the extra modes you could unlock characters with, and with Fire Emblem, you have to beat the whole game before you get most of the more interesting characters, and I don't like it that they did it that way.
Because then because you really don't have anything to do with them unless you buy the DLC, pretty much.
Exactly. That's because I do agree, as a Warriors game, it is absolutely perfect. It's an incredible game, and I agree that it goes so much under the radar for the quality game that it actually is, how smooth it plays, how good it looks and everything, and even the story and everything. It is such a good game.
Yeah, I feel it came too close. It came too close to the sun, and it got burned, and now people don't fucking know anything about it. And real quick, as much as we shit on Splatoon 2 for having its issues, Splatoon is still fun. It's really fun. I actually do like
when it works.
It works. It's a really fun game, and I really like the single player mode from the second game. Marina is Bay. I don't give a damn what anyone says. When those Amiibos come out, I've already pre-ordered it because I'm a piece of shit. So as much as we only complain about the game because we played it a lot and because we do enjoy the gameplay for that game. It just the developers need to get their heads out of their asses about certain aspects of the game. But the game is still fun, and I still had a lot of fun with the second game, because I mean, you don't put 60 some hours into a game, 60 hours or more into a game that you hate. So,
that's the thing. Yeah, it is a good game, and it's still a lot of fun. The main complaint is just that it's exactly the same as the first one. That's just the main complaint, basically.
Yeah, there's no real big progression as there should have been.
And let me, before you're done, let me say it's not just gaming. Like if you got a Switch memory, maybe something you got for it, accessory, or took it on a trip, something like that would count too. Like I shared my trip to Colorado, just like basically was a revelation to me, and I was like, man, this whole portable thing really hit me. So anything like that too.
Well, okay. Well, if we add that into, there's just one quick thing I can mention. I'm surprised how much of a handheld gamer I became towards the latter half of last year. Like at the beginning, I was primarily playing this thing docked. And then I think it was around either ARMS or Splatoon 2, I went through this period of just starting to just take it with me all the fucking time. Still got to find a good carrying case for the thing. But god damn it, I made it work. And I'm surprised how quickly I was getting through games. I was getting through games and doing stuff because I was playing stuff like Sonic Mania and like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle literally completely through handheld. Even Xenoblade, I think at this point I played more in handheld than I have in console mode. And I'm more baffled at how much, considering one of my big things about it being a hybrid back when it was first revealed was now I can finally take those games that are cool on handheld and play them on a console. And I've literally done the exact opposite. I've taken almost every major game and played it more on handheld, at least these last few months of games on handheld more than I have in dock. So
there's a couple of pretty good carrying cases out there.
Yeah, but I'm being meticulous for no good reason.
I need one that holds more games because I got more games than I got.
Oh, when I bought that charge grip for the Joy-Cons, it actually has like a game compartment in it, and I fucking love that controller. It's a lot better than the one that comes with the Switch.
You don't need all those game compartments. One, if something happens and you lose that shit, you are ass out. Man, two, you're not really gonna play. You're not going on a trip where you're really gonna play 16 different games.
But having more than 5.
He's just a hater, man. Don't mind him.
I wish I maxed out when I was on my trip for almost a week. I played all the games I had with me.
You don't have anything downloaded on your system?
I have those too, but I'm just saying, like,
don't tell him how to live his life.
I don't use the game cases. It's my at-home game case too. It's not just for on the go.
Exactly.
I
don't put the games carts back in the game cases.
Yeah, I literally
I don't do that with my 3DS. I have a 3DS like multi-game thing, but I haven't done that for Switch because I don't know that I worry about like losing that case, and that's hundreds of dollars in that fucking case. I don't want to risk that. So
yeah, when you realize that you're carrying like $400 with you everywhere, it's like, oh my god,
it's like, ooh.
Jesus.
Well, your phone, if you got an iPhone X, that's $1,000. So
yeah, because you spend money for overpriced devices,
Yeah, but you have a lot less chance of losing your phone than you do something you bringing with your game console.
Well, for Apple users, you have a higher chance of breaking the screen, though. So
only Apple phones that happens on.
Hey, look, it happens more frequently. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
There's
buy a case, bitch.
Real quick, I was shocked. There's like dedicated YouTube channels with hundreds, if not millions, hundreds of thousands, up to millions of subscribers for dudes that just review and test phones and see how they break and if their screens scratch. Like, I never even cared to, I would never watch a video like that. It's just something that was puzzling to me when someone was telling me.
Out there that people hate. It's hard to say niche when you say like there's a million subscribers.
I know, like these guys are legit. Phones are. It's one of the most popular things in the world. Actually,
a lot of people just like seeing expensive shit break.
Yeah, but
a lot of those channels
that's a lot of fun
afterwards, don't they? Sorry, I was saying a lot of those channels actually give the items away afterwards. Kind of like when they drop the Switch out of the airplane or whatever. They dropped it so high, and then the Switch actually survived. I think only like the left Joy-Con broke.
Really?
They said, right, enter the chat, and we'll give you the Switch. All you got to do is replace the Joy-Con. So I think that's why a lot of people follow them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Free shit.
So who else got any other gaming or Switch memories?
Well, I was gonna. No, go ahead, Clark.
Sorry, go ahead, Richard. No, you go ahead, Richard.
I was just gonna say because before you said like even Switch stories, There's one thing I'll never forget. Like I said, it launched in March, and I think March in July, my brother was in the hospital, and I never really thought of taking the Switch anywhere before it launched. And I was like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but it's not like I'm gonna need it. And then he was in the hospital, and I hadn't seen him in a while, like a couple of months before that. And in the past, we bonded a lot over the Super Nintendo. We always played fighting games. We played a shitload of Street Fighter. So I specifically bought Street Fighter. I knew I wanted to get it, but I bought it before I went there. And I took the Switch with me, and we put it like on the little table on this bed and shit, and we played like Street Fighter for like hours and shit. And that's the first time where I was like, yes, the system is godlike.
Yeah, that was like my plane on the plane. It was like I forgot I was flying for about an hour and a half playing Mario. It was just incredible. So Collector, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that, even at launch where, pretty much everyone bought Zelda, I also bought, I was actually given 1-2 Switch and also downloaded snipper clips. I mean, at the end of the day, I got kids as well, so they needed, a game that they could just jump straight into. And I think, as much flack as 1-2 Switch gets, when you do first play that game in the right environment, and you get into that party mode or whatever, it is actually a fun game, an expensive tech demo, but a fun game. It is, but it's a fun game. And when you first feel that HD rumble, when you do like the marble game and stuff, oh God, you knew just then HD rumble wasn't a lie, because there was no other game demonstrating how good HD rumble was, not even Zelda, which didn't have it. There was no other game demonstrating how good HD rumble was at launch. And that doesn't matter how much 1-2 Switch might have failed in gamers' eyes, tech-wise, it just blew my mind. So I was absolutely stunned, and I'm really hoping Nintendo now, like they have said, continue on evolving HD Rumble, because we've had some really good examples with Mario Odyssey and even Mario Kart. You get that little tingle with Mario Kart when you collect the coins and stuff. It actually feels like you're collecting a coin. Just all stuff like that. I'm really hoping we get more of it. So yeah, shout out to 1-2 Slip and 1-2 Switch and Snipper Clips. Good games.
Yeah,
well,
the whole
1-2
HD Rumble.
Switch.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say 1-2 Switch is just not a gamer game, so that's mainly why I get so much flack, and the cost of it. If it was more meaty, like say a Wario game or something, then I don't think people would be flacking on it. But
yeah, I agree.
That's what I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it'd be more like a Mario type of party game. Oh, not Mario, Wario type of party game.
Yeah, that could have been.
Yeah,
at least, I mean, give us the best little example of HD Rumble and just put out a demo, because I still would like to feel like the marble one, just to see how it feels.
Yeah, that's like incredible. What they did when they showed the Switch, like that Ice Cube thing. I wanted to feel that shit.
So did everybody?
Yeah, mine was exactly as yours, because I was actually the first of our group to fly to friendly skies with their Switch. So, and I put out the tweet about my PS4 and my Xbox One are home, while my Switch is along with me. And some people were like, "Oh, the Switch doesn't have that power." That power didn't matter right now, because right now my Switch is right here. So,
and then you love, because what you said now, or just now, that's the one thing I hate, because people say it only has like battery life for 3 hours, and it's like what you said with the 16 games. If you take a Switch with you and you're playing it for 20 hours, then you're doing life wrong.
I was gonna say that was another complaint that happens a lot with even with handhelds. But I don't like that. That was such a big thing when it first happened, but I don't see anybody complaining about the battery life anymore.
I still hear people. I just heard somebody talking about it the other day, and I forget who it was, but I'm like, yeah, I took all these games, but I wasn't. I mean, I was charging it when I got to my brother's house and stuff, but I didn't want to bring my dock and take up a TV. So, I mean, it was basically like my game system, like a portable system at that point, and I charged it at night and play it during the day and stuff. So that whole 3-hour thing's like, watch a movie on your phone or tablet, see how long that battery lasts. Imagine playing an actual game. Like, I mean, there are cell phone games that have some graphics too that probably drain in a couple hours, if that. If you can get 2 hours out of a demanding game on your phone. But was that all you had, T?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up because this is just a special Switch anniversary edition. Last thing we're gonna do is just the favorite, your favorite thing about the Switch, whatever it is, one thing. I'll give everybody a second to think about that. There are a lot of cool things. There's definitely some stuff to be desired, but it's actually kind of hard to pick just one. I would have to say not just the games lineup would be just kind of the easy one, but man, now I'm torn. Now
Well, I already figured something. I
go
could
ahead,
first.
go ahead.
Yes,
I'm
because
kind of torn now.
I didn't want to think an hour about it. The first thing that popped in my head is this instant screenshots. Just especially because now, since you started that shit, like we're doing that a lot on Twitter and everything, sharing a screenshot. I love it because I was playing at my brother's place a while back on PS4 and everything, and you click it, and it takes like an hour to register, and I'm like, did I take what I wanted now and shit? And you take this controller, and you barely hit the button, and it instantly takes a screenshot, and I love that stuff, and I love it how the video capture now is being added to it, like that instant screenshot shit. I just love that because you always want to, you see shit and you want to show it to people, but you can't. How do you do it? Like I don't have video capture software, and even people who do, it's not like they turn that on when they start playing the games, so that cap screenshot shit. That I love that stuff.
All right, anybody else got one?
Yeah, I'm good to go if you want.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of said it already earlier, but I think with the Switch now, it just it just feels like a games console now. Just that game console you just pick up, you can play it, just instantly like that. Slap the cartridge in if you want, and it's just going back to the good old days where, like you said, you just had your N64 or your SNES, and you just want to play it, and you don't have to wait around for anything. No loading. I mean, it's just a beautiful machine just to pick up and play. And I feel like, amongst everything else, that's been one of the breath of fresh airs for me with the console. Just the ease of play. No matter what the moment is, it just works instantly, and I absolutely love it for that. Which is why you see me playing like 1945 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
not going to buy games. Yeah, I'm not going to buy games like that on my PS4 anymore because I can't be bothered waiting for something, or even on my PC, I can't be bothered waiting for something to load up just for like small games like that. The Switch
For being stuck to a TV for small games like that.
Yeah, it's just freedom, and it's quick, easy gaming and good gaming. Well, I say good gaming. We've had Zelda and Mario and Zelda Blade and ARMS and all this stuff, and all of these games they're just there ready for you, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. So,
yeah, that was just it being strictly a game machine was definitely one of the ones I was considering being my favorite. T, do you got yours picked out?
Well, HD Rumble is easily my favorite feature about Switch. Well, that's not really fair because this isn't really a feature, but it's something I've kind of discovered. Is the console itself is a feature, being its form factor, and I think I love it so much because it surprised me that I would be using it as much as I have, because I didn't think I would. But it makes sense that I am using it as much because as a father and a husband, I don't, feel comfortable like being locked up in my man cave for, 10 hours playing a game when I have a family outside, and it's just like, I can take that console experience out into the living room and still be around my family and interact and all that stuff. And that is a huge thing for somebody like me.
Completely agree, man.
Right. And it's like, it merges because I am also a handheld gamer. I've always been since the original Game Boy. And what I always wanted with the original Game Boy was to be able to have a console I can take with me. And this is literally that. I have a console with no major constraints that I can take anywhere. And it's the same experience. And we've had attempts at that. PSP was the closest before, and then Vita, obviously. But this is actually that now, where it's not, these are different games for my samey console. This is this is the same experience on my TV and then on the go anywhere. So that is probably the form factor is the best feature of the Switch for me.
All right, Terrell.
Fuck, all the good ones were taken.
I mean, what's your best feature without, somebody might have said it, but what was your first thought, favorite thing?
What was my first favorite? Was just the fact that it exists the way. I mean, this was the console I wanted them to make. I wanted them to make a hybrid. I wanted them to make a console that kind of merged the greatest aspects of handheld and console gaming without really too many or any unrealistic drawbacks. It's one of those things that even if I don't have, I probably would say the best thing if I had to pick something original is the speed. It's so fucking fast. It's so fast in almost everything it does that there is no lag time. It managed to be the 2017 console that doesn't take forever to load, or when it has a system update, it doesn't take 20 to 30 to 40 to an hour to get the update, even when the game has an update. That's speed. I think that's probably one of my at least original thing is that it's quick. Everything I want to do, quick. Yo, you want to play multiplayer? Here's a Joy-Con. Click, then good. Yeah, I just love the speed of it.
Yeah, I was debating between that and portable, but since I couldn't decide and you guys said all the ones I was considering, honestly, and this might be a bit of a cheat to say as one thing, but it's just there are no restrictions. You play it how you want to play. You want to be a portable gamer, you play as a portable gamer. You want to have it dock like me 95% of the time. It works so well doing both. It's hard to not have that freedom, as my favorite thing. The speed is also, was something I was debating saying too, and how fast it boots up and startup time and everything else about it. But it's just, I don't have to feel like I just chatting with a guy today that I hadn't talked to in a long time, big Rocket League player on PC. And he's, we're talking and I'm like, yeah, it's going to get an update soon. I'm just going to up the resolution. I said, I still enjoy it either way. He's like, I play it at 1080p or 4K, 144 frames per second. I'm like, dude, you can't even see that many frames. He's like, that's a common misconception. I'm like, yeah, well, you got all that. I said, I'm in my kitchen right now cooking breakfast, watching replays of Rocket League. I was like, I'll take that. I'll take being able to play it on a plane over 144 frames or 4K or any of that nonsense. It's just the freedom of it. I mean, it's that simple. And I can't believe I'm even saying that because I thought there's no way I'm taking this thing out. It's going to be docked 100% of the time. Day one, docked. It's never leaving. That's how I thought it was going to be. And it turned out, it proved me wrong. So just really, really enjoy it. And it's been a great year of gaming. I wish 2018 had a little more first half for me, but just going to keep playing some of my favorite games I have, like Rocket League and Mario and maybe some ARMS. Maybe we get some people play some Doom and stuff like that. So I'm going to be enjoying the next couple months still, and then I'll be ready for some new games by summer for sure. So, but been a great year. If you guys want one final thing to say, be our final thoughts, and then we'll be out of here. So let's start with Terrell, because you always go first.
No, you bastard. I don't have any final thoughts. It's fucking Saturday, man. Just enjoy. A good podcast. Just enjoy gaming, enjoy life. I don't fucking know. I enjoy the Switch, enjoy the versatility, and look forward to Kirby in a few weeks. That's it. Lots of gameplay. I don't fucking know.
All right, Retro.
I was just gonna say, an unexpected podcast. It was a lot of fun and stuff, and I think Nintendo, man, it's like they already made us broke last year, and I don't think they're gonna stop, man. You need to get like a 5th job and shit to be able to afford all these games.
Yeah, especially with third parties ramping up. Probably see a lot more third parties at E3 this year. So, but we forgot to talk about my favorite thing. I just remembered what it was. The Switch sold 15 million, and that's my favorite thing.
Wait, that it's so well.
Just kidding. I don't give two shits about it. The thing could be sitting at 5 million. I'd still think exactly the way I do about it. Probably wouldn't have we probably wouldn't have Dooms and Rocket Leagues or anything if it was a failure, but still.
Well, what I think is a little bit funny, I guess, to say, people like in Xbox community and stuff, they like to say that the Switch has no games, and I'm sitting here like, fuck, this Mulaka just came out, and it's Kirby and Yoshi, and Fire Emblem is gonna come, Wolfenstein is gonna come out, there's all this shit, and well, I guess they got like some good news like 2 days ago, like Lucky Tail's gonna get some DLC and shit. I mean, they got something at least.
Yeah, the Switch has no games to those guys because they only played 3 types of games. Mm-hmm. So they're just not interested in all the games that it has. When they say that, that's what they mean.
It doesn't have Destiny. It doesn't have Madden.
That's one of the great things about the Switch. There's too much to play, so there's something for everybody on the system. And if you says there's nothing for you to play on the Switch, not even one single game, then you're not a gamer.
Yeah, you're not a gamer, and you got a Nintendo bias, because if you can't find anything to play, then why'd you even buy the system? Why is it your third system? Why is it your secondary system? I just don't get that. So
you can come online and talk about it, man.
So, T, you got anything you wanna?
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. If the Switch was at 5 million, 60% of these dick riders wouldn't even be talking about it. That annoys me, but it's like I'm happy that it is selling well, because that means more sales means more games, more effort put into it. So. I'll take the frauds with, I'll take them with more games on the console. So I'm happy for that. But
I mean, you got a Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro, and you're playing, Star Wars Battlefront and Call of Duty in 4K, and you enjoy that. I guess, you're still a gamer, but just seems like if you got a Switch, and you're not finding something to play, I don't know what to say, but
yeah, anyway. I'm just talking about the people that have it, and talk about there's nothing to play, or they basically don't. There's nothing on it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why even buy it? That just doesn't make sense to me, because it's popular. That's why you bought it. Like
it's going to be a Nintendo system. It's always Nintendo systems are going to have Nintendo games, so you should know that at this point. But let's. Clocked it. You want to give some final thoughts? Your first ever final thoughts on Juices Loose?
Yeah, no. Thanks for inviting me on. It's been really good, and I think we've been sitting here for 2 hours, and there's still so much you could talk about with the first year of the Switch. We barely touched upon Odyssey and Xenoblade and all the other games, and I feel like with the Switch, it's one of those consoles now that are making you. Get those games that you would not necessarily have gotten before, sometimes as well, or not paid full retail price, as well. The system makes you want to buy games for that particular system, because this it's not just about the game as well. It's the console itself is such an alluring beast in all of its innovation and everything it offers. And I just look at my games collection, and I play some stuff, like Floor Kids. Floor Kids is an amazing rhythm game. I used to love rhythm games back in the day. It's great to get back to those. And like I said, you see me on 1945 Strikers and Retro. You see me on Stardew Valley, which nearly consumed my life as well. That's probably one of my most played games on this damn console. But I would not have bought Stardew Valley on any other console. It's the fact that I can play it on the small screen as well. But like I said, for those certain games, it'll make you buy those games that you wouldn't necessarily have gotten before. So yeah, the first year has been absolutely immense. I'm broke, as you know. I got 5 kids to feed, and I'm still paying off my credit card now. And I'm glad there's a little bit of a lull in early 2018. For some of us who owned the Wii U or previous games and stuff. But I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I feel like after May, the storm's going to come again. And we're going to be begging for that software drop. It's going to be begging, please. Nintendo spare me. But no, cheers for inviting me on, Juice, and thanks for everyone inviting me as well. So cheers, guys. It's been great.
All right. Yeah,
Cocker
good
is
having
like
you.
the anti-Robert.
All he's done is playing
Well
games.
thought out. Final
The
thoughts.
final thoughts and shit. Yeah, that was insane. It was incredible.
Even when I'm in here, he gets shady. God dang.
Hashtag rubber ain't shit. I'm saying we need to start that trending, man.
He's
I
busy
love the song.
Snapchatting. He don't even care.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't even know how to follow. That was so well said that I just want to say, good job. It was great having you on. And
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come back, I know it's late for you when we do our normal during the week. So, but let me know, man. It's up to you. If you want to be on, we'll make it happen.
You invite me back, I'll be there. Don't worry about it.
All right.
It's
And
cool.
yeah, good first year of the Switch. And this is just a special. It wasn't even supposed to be this long, but like Clocked said, we could have talked about Xenoblade for a half hour. We could have talked about Odyssey for a half hour. We could have got even more into Zelda. So I should have known it was going to be a 2-hour one. But we'll be back on Monday. Normal Juices Loose, talking about topics. Anything that comes up. Things like the Kirby demo, which didn't hit the US from what I can see, and stuff like that. So everybody tune in Monday. We'll be back. Juice Loose crew, and just enjoy your Switch. Happy first year, and I look forward to doing this again next year. And who knows what crazy games we'll be talking about that we had no idea or never expected to make it to the Switch. Maybe we'll be talking
Prime
about
4, baby. Let's go.
Prime 4. Maybe we'll be talking about that. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in live, giving us your time on a Saturday. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here and we'll be back on Monday. So peace.